The only problem, we are at war with ourselves and just don't realize it. You think you've got 99 problems, really? Well, you might disagree with me, but you've really only got one problem. And so have I. That's what I see as a self-aware and mindful grey-haired fella starting out in his 60s. That problem? You are sometimes frightened of your experience being you. You are sometimes frightened of your experience being you. And thus the war starts so you can always feel good about yourself. I recorded this video to tell you this and to remind me that I don't need to do that. We don't always need to feel good. I'll share a Sydney Banks quote at the end of the video that sums this up. So war looks like this. Others, other people, remind you of your flaws, of your limits, of your likes and dislikes, what you admire, and what you feel ashamed of. I go into this in a lot more detail in a video I'll post here at the end, by the way. Others stir up the war. Thinking stirs up the war. And giving things negative meanings. We sometimes give things positive meanings. Doesn't seem to cause too much trouble. It's when we give things a negative meaning that the trouble starts, the war commences. Control becomes necessary. Control. We need people, things, situations, life to be a certain way. We need things to be a certain way, we think. Feelings. War looks like feelings. We want more good feelings. In fact, we want the good feelings to never, ever, ever end. And we label some other feelings as bad. And we never want to experience those bad feelings, like sadness, or anger, or grief, or loneliness. We never want to experience those feelings, despite the fact that we experience them most days and they come, they go, we're fine. Others, thinking, control, feelings. These are the things that cause the war inside of us. The war continues each and every day inside of us. Inside of you, inside of me, inside of them. Affecting how we behave, how we respond, how we react, how we think, what wisdom we access, what love we access, what sort of good behaviours occur, what sort of bad behaviours occur. The war causes us to sometimes not behave as well as we might think we ought to do. Here are some examples from yours truly, me. They're not major examples, but they do affect how I show up, what I do, how I feel about myself. Number one, I've got a couple of friends who live in a big house with a big family and great jobs. Lovely people. Now, if I was okay with the house I'm living in, and my house, I am okay with my house, but it's not very big, but I'm okay. If I was okay, really okay, with not having a family. And I've made peace with that, but there's still some feeling in there that's difficult to be with. And if I was okay with not having a great job, in fact, I'm currently jobless, if I was okay with all of these things, then it would make me much less resistant to spending time with these friends in their big house, with their big family and their great jobs. Now, it may be that I might not spend time there, but the reason, if I was okay with those things, but it'd be for a different reason. So do you see that? I've got an issue with ABC. ABC shows up with my friends. I don't spend a lot of time there, or I don't look forward to spending time there. Example 2, the house I mentioned is a bit neglected that I live in, as is the garden. And the reason for that is I don't have good home improvement skills, good DIY skills. I'm not a great gardener. And I've resisted learning those practical skills, doing the jobs that need to be done, because I'm aware of that limit. Sometimes you have limits and you push into them and then the limit disappears. But I've been cooking, for example, for a long time and I'm still not good at cooking. That's the same. I mean, I like cooking, but I'm not good at it. That's the same with DIY skills and practical gardening skills. I'll get better, and I have got better, but I'll never be good at it. And so what I find myself doing is resisting the gardening, resisting the home improvement. And that's not really a great way to live, avoiding your limits. Is it making sense, this? 3, conflict avoidance. So I'm one of those people that avoids conflict. Why? Well, part of the reason I think is I don't want to experience me not being a nice person or not the nice person I think I am. I don't want someone else to experience that. They might not like me and they might leave me and I might be on my own. And some part of me thinks I won't like being on my own when really I can cope with that. So I've got an idea of myself that's nice. The other people think I'm nice, and I don't want to change that perception by getting into conflict with somebody. Sometimes I might be right to be in conflict, sometimes I might not be, so I'll just avoid either situation. That's me doing conflict avoidance so that someone else might not see who I am. You might think you're not good enough. It might be a core limiting belief. For example, if it's not just play along with me. So if I said directly or not, or indirectly, that you aren't good enough, if I insinuated it somehow, that could really offend you. And you might overreact. You might never speak to me again. You might attack me physically or verbally. You would be shooting the messenger. Whereas if you had a core limiting belief that you're not good enough and you made peace with that, sort of, it didn't trigger you anymore. If I insinuated that you weren't good enough, you'd probably ignore it and you might think, Steve thinks that he's not good enough. For example. So I've shared what war looks like. What could peace look like? What could peace look like? This is a much shorter section. I'm playing with this. So the first thing I'm going to say is, what do you think peace could look like? If that's what war looks like, what do you think peace could look like? For me, awareness matters, mindfulness, noticing. And then when an unpleasant feeling happens, or I notice a limit, I push into it, feel it, be with it, practice being with a limit, being at my limit, practice feeling anger, practice feeling jealous, practice the feeling, be with it, because I know that feeling it transforms it. That's my experience generally. So push into it, and then a loving acceptance of myself and me doing well with that or me not doing well with it. So for me, peace looks like awareness, pushing into the feeling, whatever it is, pushing into the limit, and then a loving acceptance of myself, all of my feelings. A loving acceptance of my experience of my being me. That's what peace looks like for me. And I try not to, when I find myself at war, point outward. I try not to do that. Conflict in the outside of me world, the outside of you world, will start to disappear once conflict in the inside of me, the inside of you world does too. So conflict in the outside world will start to disappear once conflict in the inside world disappears. That's what I think. Deal with this one problem, I say, and your other 99 problems will either disappear or they'll just be things that you just get on with. They'll just become stuff you gotta do. Don't believe me? Think this is all a bit nonsense? Life is far more complicated than that, Steve. Well, I invite you to take a closer look at the things that trigger you today, the feelings you don't care to be with, the people that annoy you. Take a closer look as an experiment. Just see for yourself. Thank you for watching this video. As I said, there's a video about let me have a look, I've forgotten. Surprising facts about the people you don't like. That video is going to come here. And then the Sydney Banks quote is going to follow this video. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this video and if you got this far. Thank you very much.